Hello, am I audible to everyone? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. I'm Ashish Kumar here, Ashish Kumar Sharma, your host for today's session. So, you may start now.
Hello.
So, kindly turn on your camera and then please start.
So everybody has joined, or the only 3-4 people will be joining, or how it is?
The session is live.
Okay, great.
So,
So
please
yeah,
uh,
so
a bit down your camera. Okay, perfect.
is it perfect now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for connecting late in the late in the weekend evening. I will just share my screen to take this session forward. Yeah, so we'll start with a small riddle or a quiz which we used to do in our school days and the magazine. So if you look at, there are two images A and B on the left and right hand side of our screen. Uh, if you get into the details, both of the images are same. Only thing is, if you look at A, it is much more arranged, systematic, everything is in place. B, you can see everything is staggered everywhere around. Things are at a different places, and it looks bit untidy, not arranged. If you look at A, it looks like clean and arranged. So why this picture? With this picture, I just wanted to tell you that why PMP is an important factor for any of the organization. So a program manager or the skill set which you will gain out of the PMP will help you in organizing a certain organization so that it will look more of like A, right? So this is in terms of the visualization, but of course there are some effort and some skill set will be required to make a room more of like A, right? So this is just a small riddle since people are joining. So we have put this small riddle initially. We'll start with, let's say, so I mean, just to conclude on this, that to make to make one thing clean, arranged, proper arranged, there's some type of skill set is required, some effort is required. So program manager is one who make organization much more organized, much more systematic. Okay, so we'll move into next segment of our class. So first of all, let me welcome all those who have joined this session on behalf of Protrainy. Okay, this is the professional workshop. I will just quickly cover that what are the objective of this workshop so that you should understand that what we are going to expect out of this workshop. We'll start with a brief introduction of mine as well as yours if anybody wants to give brief about themselves as well. Then we'll understand about the objective and agenda of this course, that what we are trying to get out of this course. Okay, we'll understand on program management, that what how program management is being defined, what are the key differences between project and program manager, and we'll understand a key difference between what how project and program are different. Both of them are confusing terms, but we'll understand into deep about the differences between both. We'll also discuss about it how program management helps in achieving organization goal. We'll touch upon agile and waterfall terminology. We'll also do some case study to make this concept more clear. We'll also discuss on different tools and certification options which is there. After that, if there will be any question, we'll take those questions, and after that we can have a closing call. Thanks, Ifan. Thanks to introduce yourself. Yeah. So just to give you brief idea that why I'm qualified to give this session. I'm Alok. I have almost 12 years of experience in program and business management. So I am myself PPT. I'm myself PMP certified through PMI, which I have completed in 2022. I'm a graduate engineer from NIT Jamshedpur. Right now, I'm working in a company PG Electroplast where I'm handling their new business vertical. A part of it, I worked with Tata Autocom, Hero MotoCorp, Moglix in past on a various different kind of role, majorly around program management. Okay, so this qualify me. What I believe that this qualify me to share my experience, what I have done in last decade almost. So let's dive into what program manager is, right? So program manager is an individual. Program management is a concept, right? It's a set of tools. So how I say it as that it is both art and science of managing any project. So program management is both art and science of managing deliverable of any project. Why I say art and science both? By art I mean that there is some kind of a soft skill which is required as a project manager. If you see right hand side of my PPT, so there are some behavioral aspect which is required in a project manager. One thing is he has to be a diplomat because you have to work with lot of cross function teams. So you need to have a listening skill. You have to manage teams. So diplomacy skill is one of the skills. So diplomacy is art. Team building where you collaborate with people, you create, learn together, right? Then commitment because you are the one who will going to own that project. So your commitment will percolate down into the team. So that's why your commitment is very important. And then change management, right? Because in organization or most of you are working professional, you understand that throughout the project there are multiple changes which has to occur depending upon project requirement, and the changes have a different effect in each stakeholders. So as a program manager you need to works toward that change management, that every change management is being communicated to every of your team members, and every team member is taking respective action to accommodate that changes in their particular deliverable, right? Then the process which you should, as a program manager, you should understand that you should know the basic rules of each departments, right? If you are hiring on people, you need to understand that whether HR is being informed or not, right? Sometimes an individual will not be aware of the complication of other department. For example, if you are setting up a working site somewhere, right? In let's say you are responsible for Delhi region and you are setting up some plant in Northeast region. So you need to understand that there are some labor law application will be there. There will be some government regulation will be there. Industry comes under state department, so you need to understand that there are certain processes of each department which you have to encounter. So this is, you can't do it through a very scientific way, right? It's more of the art, right? But when I say it's art and science both, so I will just also elaborate on what science it has, right? One is you have to we have to be very technical in terms of project planning, because you need to understand the timeline which practical timeline which any of the project take. Like let's say for example, if you are going to run a project, you should understand that how much time um, land acquisition will take, how much time a curing of cement will take, how much time a certain development will take, right? And you also need to understand that what are the sequences of particular project. You have to understand that okay, first we have to do land acquisition, then probably the site layout design, and so there is a sequence to it, right? So as a program manager, you need to understand that what is the sequence of program. So that is a science where it comes into the play. So program planning, right? You need to have an attribute of a leadership, right? Where you need to work along with the entire team, right? Financial management, you need to understand the basic finances, that the project which you are going to do, whether it's a financially viable, not viable, right? Then there's a technical method of governing any particular project, right? How you are going to monitor it, what are the certain timelines, what are the milestone, how you are going to achieve those. So you need to monitor project as well, and then execution of entire thing which we have spoken till now, right? So so this is the part where I say that this is the science of a program management, right? So it's a combination of art and science, right? So this is about program management, but who is the program manager, right? If you look at the left hand top side of my PPT, so here it defines program manager, that program manager is someone who is responsible for leading the number of interdependent projects to achieve a strategic objective. The program manager focus on overall benefits realization and achieving organization goal rather than managing short deadlines and individual deliverable. So then here we'll discuss that what is project and what is program. So let's say look at a small program, right? You are setting up a civil engineering lab at or a quality lab at certain location. So to set up a lab, right? There will be multiple departments which have to play which have to play a role over there. Right? Purchase department will.
wajen da liman ya bada sallah daga baya kuma wani kuma zai ce zai bada sallah kuma a wajen.
So if you are setting up a quality lab, right? So purchase department had to release PO, right? Commissioning department had to commission those machine. So releasing PO is itself a project. Commissioning a machine is a commissioning that equipment at your lab is is a project, right? Interior making of that particular lab will be a project. But as a program manager, hiring of people is a project for HR manager. But as a program manager, setting up that quality lab is a program, right? So you have to coordinate between all those departments to get that lab commissioned and installed or erected, right? So a program manager is one who focus on overall benefit, not on the short deliverables, right? So I hope this is more clear now, that is some program manager is someone who is responsible for leading number of interdependent projects to achieve a strategic objective. So strategic objective is to set up a quality lab, right? And then small projects like releasing a PO, hiring manpower for that particular commissioning those are the example of interdependent projects, right? I will deep dive into that what a strategic objective is, how it comes down to program management, okay, in the upcoming slide. Yeah. So I'll emphasize more on what is project, what is program, and what is portfolio, right? So project is, right, works on a project level, manage resources only within the project, success mean delivering project on time, budget, and to the specification, right? So as a purchase department, project is to release a PO and get that material on board, right? So that is the project management. Program management, I already defined that it is, I mean, coordinating between entire resources. You should understand that if you are going to hire a people for a quality lab, right? It should be it should be it should be joining on the day which on the day this lab is getting commissioned, right? If you're commissioning the lab and the people who are going to work over there has not been hired, right? So then there's a noise. So program manager has to coordinate between all this department to make sure that everything is in place, everything is at the right time, at the right cost. Okay. So here program management, what does it says that it will oversee the related project, that whatever the project will fall under this. Then it will coordinate and schedule the resources among all projects within the program to ensure all projects have what they need when they need it, even with the multiple projects require the same resources, right? And what is portfolio, right? So portfolio is more of like it is a larger bucket. Program management and project management will fall under portfolio. So if there is any organization where multiple projects are running, So there will be a portfolio manager who will be looking after each of the projects, right? So it will evaluate all projects and program. It will have a clear understanding of the strategic value which each projects and programs are delivering, right? It will understand what is the financial benefit of it, right? If everything is getting completed on the time, then only portfolio management will succeed, right? We'll deep dive into how organization strategy, program, and portfolio is interconnected. If you look at the left hand side slide, okay, and I will take an example of how of a big company. Let's say there is a company name. So let's assume that Tata Group as an organization, right? We have one person from Tata Projects in this call, right? So let's say Tata Group as an organization have a multiple verticals, right? We call it as a business unit, one, two, three. For example, for sake of example, I will take two, three company of a Tata Group, and we'll deep dive into a certain segment. Let's say Tata Projects, Tata Motors, and Tata Chemicals are the three company which we are discussing over here. Okay. Let's say Tata Projects will have a multiple portfolio running in, right? I'm not sure that on what business Tata Projects is presently, but let's say there are multiple projects which is running. Let's say something in real estate, something on the national highway, something on the dam sort of project, right? So if you put together all projects of Tata Projects together, it will come under the project portfolio, right? Then we'll further divide project portfolio into different programs. So let's say dam engineering was one program for them. Okay. So within the dam engineering, there will be multiple things, right? Designing of that particular thing will be project, right? Commissioning dam structure will be one project. So a program manager will work over here, right? So let's say dam, they have to design a dam, uh, they have to manage certain projects within that, right? So this is how now let's say Tata Motors is there. Tata Motors will have a different verticals. Let's say commercial vertical, passenger verticals. In commercial vertical, let's say in commercial vertical, they are running different vehicle programs within themselves, right? So for one particular project, let's say they are going to launch one new SUV. So for them, it will be more of like program for them, which and within that program there will be multiple things. Designing interior, exterior will be different projects. So a program manager is one who will be owning one SUV project, or for example, for uh, for dam engineering, it will for Tata Projects, the program manager is one who will be managing dam engineering. But by saying so, not to confuse, program manager sometimes will not be an individual person, right? It will be more of a department within organization. Okay, so for both of the companies which I have taken example, Tata Motors or Tata Projects, managing a dam engineering project is not a one person job, or a one person program manager can able to manage it. So within also there will be further bifurcation of the department, right? And then there will be a small set of program manager who will be managing different projects for Tata. For example, Tata Cars is there, and so then there will be some program manager who will be managing interior, someone will be managing exterior, some will be managing engine part, right? So those things are there. So just to summarize on what project manager is, project management basically project management, it is more of like that they have to deliver certain product or services within the scope of their cost, schedule, and quality standard, right? Program manager is majorly a kind of a ownership role, okay, which is majorly been someone been appointed by business or the management, right? They will be coordinating with multiple projects and aligning the projects in such a way that overall benefits which is required, we are meeting those value or not. And portfolio management is again that it will be majorly led by business goal, right? It will have some benefit to overall organization, right? So it's a more of a pyramid kind of a structure. Project management sits on on the lower side, and program management on the bit higher side of pyramid, and the portfolio management have a larger umbrella. Hope this have given some idea on how project, program, and portfolio are different. Okay. Again, I mean, taking you through the entire project management in an hour will be a bit difficult task. Okay. So what we are trying to cover here is more of the whatever the terminology which are readily available. I mean, not readily available, and the terminology which is there in the market as of now. Okay, so that you can give a glimpse idea of what all things are there. Okay. So agile is one of the terminology which is there in the market right now. Most of the people have heard this agile terminology, agile framework. So we'll deep dive into what agile is. Since most of this audience is from civil engineering background, I will also take on waterfall, what waterfall is, and then we'll deep dive into agile, right? Because this is something which is in buzz right now. So if you look at the two table over here, okay, which actually clearly define what waterfall and agile is, but I will take you through this as well. Okay, waterfall is a traditional method of handling projects, right? Where you collect requirement first, okay, then you design according to the requirement, okay, then you make product out or you implement according to your design, then you do testing of it, right, and then you release the product, and after that if any maintenance is required you keep on doing that. So this is a typical waterfall is, right? What it basically says that you collect all your requirement on the day zero of your project as well, only, right? But what agile says that let's start doing it, okay. In the path we'll keep on figuring it out, that what is the requirement, what all are the things which need to be tweaked, right? And we keep on changing it, right? So if you look at, there's a circle to it, right? So first you analyze the demand, then you define it, then you design, test, and then you deploy it, right? So it's a continuous circle. If it is confusing, I will take it into the details, okay. So just to go through this website, this PPT. So implementation for waterfall is linear. If you look at this chart, agile is iterative, so you keep on changing your requirement, okay. Then waterfall is something where you have a detailed plan for entire project. For agile, after every 2 week to 8 week, I mean, when you define agile for a certain program, you define it that what will be your iteration cycle. So sometimes it will 2 week to 8 week, it will varies from kind of a nature of the project, right? In waterfall, you discuss with all stakeholders upfront that what are their requirements. So stakeholder, if someone doesn't know what a stakeholder is, so stakeholder is all the people who are going to be affected from your project, okay, all those people, right? Just to have a brief understanding of it. So in waterfall it will be mostly upfront. In agile you keep on interacting with all stakeholders throughout the project, right? For team structure, it is a traditional hierarchy structure where most of us work in a corporate world where it's a traditional hierarchy structure. But in agile framework, it is more of self-organized team. So there will be no manager as such. Right? It will more of the team will take the decision and team will implement it. Benefit. So now coming to this part, that which one is better. So both of them are equally good depending upon the kind of project which you are doing. Depending upon the kind of project which we are doing, we can define that which one is better out of both of this. So waterfall is more predictable, reliable outcome, more control, but flexibility is not there. In agile, it is more flexible, where we can make changes in the project more often, right? So I can understand it is a bit confusing as well, but I will take you through one example, right? I mean, a real world example, and then we'll implement it in a project side as well. So let's say you are planning a trip from Mumbai to Goa. All right, this is something which is exciting, right? So if you travel from Mumbai to Goa, there are there are a lot of destination in and around, right? If Alibag is there, Gogar beach is there, Ganpatipuli is there, right? Sindhudurg is there. So there are a lot of things are in between, right? So let's say you have to plan a trip, right? There's two way of planning a trip, right? One is, I call it is a parent's way, and one is your one is a friend's way, right? So if you look at parents' approach and friends' approach or a colleague approach, right? Let's say if you're planning a trip along with your parents, what they will do? They will plan everything upfront. Okay, that okay, it's a let's say for example 10 hour of travel. Okay, where all will stay, where we'll all stay at night, and everything will be planned, right? Every hotel will be booked accordingly. And you have to maintain those schedule to reach your destination at the time and then returning back from there, right? But if you're planning with your friends, right, what you will do, you'll just get into the car, sorry, and you'll just see you'll just will not plan anything, right? It's more of like that, okay, let's go on a road trip, and wherever we'll find a good place, we'll stay there, and then whatever we'll find, we'll eat on any of the restaurant which will come on our way. So it's more of the day. Let's say you are planning it for 5 days. That's the only thing you have to plan, and rest thing you can figure it out on the way. So the first thing which I have said, parents plan, right? So it is waterfall method, right? And the second approach which I told you, that when you are planning with your friends, right, it is a agile way. Just to summarize into a table. So waterfall approach or parents approach. You start driving, right? You have everything exactly planned, where you will have a food, where you will have a sleep at night, right? But then there is a challenge to it. Let's say you have planned it in a certain way, and if you face any challenge in way, right, your tire got burst, right? But so then if your tire get burst and you did not able to reach your hotel at the time, your money got wasted over there, right? If you forget something, or if you figure it out in the way that there's some good destination where you can go, but you will not be able to go because you have everything is planned, every trip, everything has been planned, so you will not be able to change your plan when you are going with your parents or on the waterfall approach. But then there's a benefit to it as well. What that there is a lot of there's very minimum uncertainty. There might be a problem that you will not got to hotel, but in parents approach you won't face that problem because everything has been booked over there. Okay, so there's a benefit to it. There's pro to it, there's cons to it, right? In agile approach, let's say you start driving towards Goa, you 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 stopped at certain place. Somebody has told you that there's a good place around 30-40 kilometers from here, which is detour from your route. But you can incorporate those changes in your trip, right? If you feel that you are tired, you do not feel like driving, right? You do not have to, because do not have any hotel booked. You can stay anywhere you want, right? So just to summarize on that, it's waterfall is like planning in the entire trip upfront, following a rigid itinerary, sticking to it regardless of changes and opportunity along the way. Agile is like starting the journey with a flexible mindset, adapting to new information and opportunity as they arises, and make adjustments to enhance the overall experience. Okay. So we'll deep dive into agile only because waterfall is a traditional method. Most of the people knows within the organization that what waterfall is. Okay. So to and for agile there are certain framework which has been developed. When I say framework, it is like the set of the processes that how agile will work, right? So scrum is one of the agile process. So we will deep dive into what a scrum is, but before deep diving into what the scrum is, we'll just briefly touch on that there are almost 7 kind of agile framework which is there in the system right now. Kanban is one, scrum is one, extreme programming is one, future driven development is one, lean is one, dynamic system development method is one, crystal is one. Okay. So why I have chosen a Scrum process, because this is more relevant to us or the audience which we are addressing to. Okay, and this is one of the framework which is being widely practiced. Okay, so how it works, right? There are three major stakeholders in the three type of major stakeholders within a Scrum framework. One is, if you see in the green, right? One is product owner. Second one is the team, and third one is a scrum master. Okay, so team comprises of multiple members, 7 8 whatever it is. So just to give you an example, right? Let's say I will give some example related to documentation, or let's say some sort of process development, so that it will make more sense. So let's say you are going to develop one system for your, let's say you have a lab, right? You want to develop some kind of a processes to, just a minute. Okay, so let's say you're developing some kind of a process to set up a, that how a lab is going to work, right? So let's say as a product owner will go to all the stakeholders who are working in the lab, right? He will collect the requirement. Okay, for example, you need a master list for your lab, you need a you need a calibration supplier for your lab. You maybe you have to fix some lights within your lab, right? You have to develop some kind of a, you have to develop some kind of leaflets or booklets for your lab, right? You, so there are multiple requirements which can come within that particular development of particular lab system. Okay, then there will be some MIS requirement. So there are multiple requirements which will come. So job of product owner will be just to collect the requirement, and he have to put it into a product backlog, that what all requirements are there. Okay, he will just put it into the product backlog. Okay, let's say there are 3-member team who are responsible to work for that particular lab system. Okay. What the 3 or 4 people will do, they will just go and they will pick some of the actionable. So let's say we have decided a sprint of 1 week. So let's say there are some 15 requirement which has come on product backlog, and we have a sprint of a 1 week. These 3 people will decide that out of this, which 3 need to be prioritized, which we can take for our this week sprint. So they will, so out of product backlog they will make a sprint backlog. So probably here it will be 15 requirements. Here it will come down to the 3-4, which can be completed on a week time. Okay. Once you will come into this sprint, right? The Scrum Master is the one who will drive this sprint. Driving means he will ensure that people are working on all this. They are getting informed, and he will also be working towards debottlenecking. If they are getting stuck somewhere, he will be the one who will be supporting all of them. Okay. So for 1 week daily, for after every 24 hours there will be a sprint review. Every people will gather, they will discuss the progress, and then they will again for the entire day they will work on this. Again after 24 hours they will work on that particular product, and after 1 week, right, finished work will go out. Let's say out of 3 sprint backlog, probably 2 has been completed. It will go out into this finished work. and rest will again come into the sprint backlog. And next after this 1 week, when team will meet again, so they will again probably at that time product owner will also have collected multiple other backlogs. Because again the team sprint planning meeting, team will meet, they will decide that out of all these 20 line items what they need to prioritize and what they can be taken, and these entire cycles continue. So here there is no end to it, right? It will be more of like they'll keep on working on this form. So this is why it is agile, right? So requirement is also coming on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. They're implementing it on a real time. Okay, and it's a self-managed team, right? They are being self-managed. There is no one who is monitoring them. So if you look at this this table, right? So it is more of a team structure, is self-organized team. Okay, so here there is a lot of ownership will go to the team. So this is about agile scrum process, right? Coming to the tools, right? There are multiple tools which are being used right now for program management. These are few of the companies which are having this kind of tool in their website, right? Monday.com, ClickUp, Jira is one which is very famous nowadays. Asana, Jira Asana is being used in industry widely nowadays. You can explore on this. You can explore more on this, right? Coming to the certification, right? So program management, there are multiple different departments which are, I mean, not I will say department, multiple institute which are running this certification. PMP is something which I have which I have told in very initial of this presentation that PMP, which is being issued by PMI, is most recognized one. Okay, which we are training team for. Second one is this MPA Master Project Management. It is by American Academy of Program Management. Okay. Then this is for Scrum. If someone is interested more on Scrum, Scrum Alliances gives the certificate on a certified Scrum Master. The Prince is one. Okay, Google also offers program management certification. Okay, then there are multiple colleges, right, which are coming for this program management. So I am Indore have the program, other I also have this kind of a program which is already running, right? Why program management is why program management is important in this present scenario? If you look at present scenario, this generative AI coming in, a lot of tools, technique which is being coming in the place. But program management is someone who over, I mean, who works with all these things, right? You work with people, you work with system, you work with the process. So they are the one who coordinates with each and every people, right? Each and every people, each and every tools, right? So going forward, this skill set is going to be critical, okay? Because this is something which cannot be automated or that cannot be replaced, right? So if you look at companies like Amazon, right, they will hire more of, so most of their designation will be program manager, right? So going forward also, right, for every company there will be a huge demand of program manager. Yeah. So this is why different institutions are also running this. Okay. So this is all from my side. If anybody had any question or answer question, I will be love to answer those, right? Or anything, any feedback which you guys have on this session, we can. Forum is open for everyone. Anyone you have any question, we can just unmute and we can start answering. I can start answering those. That's all from my side. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll just wait if anybody has any doubts.
Sure. Yeah, so we have one question that how does one go about the registration for PMP certification? So for PMP, PMI is one institute which give you the PMP certification. So to qualify to give that exam, you have to first earn a 35 PDUs, which they say it as a professional development unit. Okay, so you can go into their website. Okay, they have certain requirement to have a certain eligibility criteria. If you are a graduate, you need to have a 3 year of work experience, and then you can and then you have to earn 35 PDUs, professional development unit, from the coaching institutes like us, and then only you can appear for the exam. So if you want, we can share you the detail of PMI website. In terms of the costing, if I say in terms of INR, it will come around 45,000. In terms of the INR, I'm not sure. On dollar, it will be like, I'm not sure whether it's 400, $500. You need to convert it. We can help you in to register or to get the certification. Any question from anyone else? Thank you, everyone.